Hello, hello. It's your favorite animation director, retired guy, talking about animation again. Well, hey, back for more. So, we finished that other scene, and I'm going to do a new scene today. And I'm going to pick this little guy here. I'll wave this guy here to animate. So, um, I'm going to move my model off here if I can get a hold of it. Okay, there we go. So that's going to be over here where you good people can't see it. Let's see. I think I can. Yeah. Should be. All right. Well, anyway. I'm going to move it over here. All right. I don't think you can see it. I'm pretty sure you can't. Anyways, so what I want to do with this guy is I'm going to animate him painting something. What I've done is I've got several characters that are doing stuff. Okay. So let's see here. First of all, we need to go to the rough sketch thing here. Pick a black. And let's see. I think what I want to do, let me check something here. Let's see. I think I want to go look at that. All right. Yeah. All right. I was just trying to pick what I'm going to have him do. All right. So I think what I'll do here is he's going to be painting something here. And I think I'll have him, let's see. Yeah, I'll have him painting something right here. Yeah. So, yeah. I'll have him paint something right here. So, let's see. When I animate something, as you know, when you animate, you start out with, you're going to have keyframes, right? So you have keyframes because you know that you know that you are going to you have to figure out what the keyframes are in your scene. All right. So you say, well, how do you do that? Okay. Well, my mentality about it over the years as an animator is when I first started to animate, I thought of the keys in actual perfect order. You know, what's number one, what's number two, what's number three, so on and so forth. Over the years as an animator, I realized that it didn't really matter what order the key positions had to be in when you started drawing. You'd think that you'd want to have everything starting from the first frame all the way down to the last frame. But the reality is, you can start anywhere based upon what you know a frame is going to be. In other words, if you know there's going to be a certain frame in your scene, then you just draw it. Sometimes when I'm animating, like I am right now, I know that a frame is here. Okay, I know that my little guy here is at some point going to be doing this particular action that he's doing now. That one of the keyframes is this particular drawing, or something like it. Okay. So since I know that, I can go ahead and draw it because I know that at some point he's going to have to do this. So it doesn't matter what order I have him doing this in. It's in the sequence of action. Okay, it's a part of what he's doing. The reason that I bring this up is because in working, when you're working on a, let's see here, when you're working on a film, and you don't, like in this case, the way I'm doing this, and I bring, oh, that's in the wrong order there. Okay, I don't think I'm going to be able to see what I want to see here. Oh, I see he does have, okay, all right, so if that's the case, then let's see a better, I was trying to see whether or not, I was just looking to see if he had a, if the level, if the stripes, he had stripes on his sleeves like that, he does. So just wanted to make sure I have that in here. So because I'm working digitally, I'm not working on paper, I have to, you know, I make a drawing first, I make a drawing second, I make a drawing third, okay? The first drawing I make may not necessarily be the first drawing in the sequence, is what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. And that's kind of what's happening here. The first drawing that I'm making is not the first drawing in the sequence. It's in the sequence someplace. Okay? So that's the point that I'm making, is that I don't have the luxury of having this particular key in the right sequence. It's not in the right sequence, okay? So because of that, I'm just going to predict what my poses need to be. So like right now, that's the first one I've done, but that's not going to be the first drawing. Now what I'm going to do is go up here, and whenever I animate, I also usually assign a number of frames to each image from us as a starting point, not that it's going to be the final number of frames that drawing is going to be held. It just means that I like to hold the drawings for a certain number of frames, just so that I can see them when I flip them. All right, so I put this drawing and I'm holding it 8 frames. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and I'm going to add after, except in this case I'm not going to add after. I'm going to duplicate after, which means that now I have another frame here that is also 8 frames now. So I have 2 of those. I'm going to go back to the first one, and I'm going to change the first one now. So what I'm going to do now is take my eraser. I'm going to make it kind of bigger. And I am going to erase in here and in here. And I'm going to take my little guy on the page here, and I'm going to move him. So I'm going to move him so that he's down here a little bit. All right. And then I'm going to grab the top part of his body here, because what I want to do is I want to have him kind of, let's see, I want to move his body a little bit like this, right? Because I want him to, let's see, let me make this eraser a little smaller. I want him to be starting to paint this, and I also want him to be looking at what he's doing. Okay. So, and I also want to move the paintbrush a little bit here. So I'm going to grab it and I'll pivot it a little bit here, like that. Okay. All right, so now I can have him looking at what he's doing. See? So that he's painting like that. So he's working into this position. So he's starting here, and he's coming down to there. You see how I did that? I did that without actually drawing much. I just changed the position of his body a little bit. See? And actually, I could even do more here. I could have, let's see. Yeah, I could, okay, I could come here, you see, and then I could duplicate this after. So now I could take, see what now I have is I have 3 drawings that are held on 8 frames. I have this one, and this one. The first 2 are the same. So I'll take the first one, and let's see, what can we do here? Well, why don't we play with this even more? Let's see, why don't we do this then? Why don't we say, I'll erase the arm completely on this first one. All right? Yeah. And I'll move our little guy so that he's down here. All right. And maybe I'll move his head a little more too. Let's pivot his head up a little bit so like he's kind of looking up. All right, see, here's what he's going to be doing. All right. But then we'll have his hand up here, see? Because we want him painting. Okay? We want him to be painting this thing this way. So let's draw his hand. So he's up here, you see. And there's his hand there. Right? And right, and then we've got the brush here. Right? And there's the brush there. So now you got him painting, you see. And we could even move his eyes a little bit more so he's looking more up at what he's doing. Maybe focusing his eyes up to here. And you can see how this is great because we don't have to redraw his whole body. We're just copying and carrying over. If I play this now, see? So we have a little bit of an action which goes about a second. Yeah, it goes in actually in a second, which is good because that's kind of about how much time I want to spend on this. I could probably have him turn the corner. Let's see, maybe I could have him when he gets to the end of, let's say, so let's say he gets down to here, right? But see, he's got to turn that corner, so maybe I could put a drawing in between here. So let's say, all right, let's say I take this middle drawing, this on 8s, and let's say I duplicate that one. Okay. But on this one, what I wanted, and I think what I'm going to do is turn the light on here. Yeah, okay. Because what I want to do here is, I've got an idea here. Let's take the eraser here, and let's erase his hand here. Okay. Then maybe what I'm going to do is move his body down just a little bit. Maybe move it down like this. And I'm going to have like he stopped painting here. Okay. And let's say his hand went up, like the brush went up. All right, so maybe we've got his hand here. All right, like he took the brush up off the area that he was painting. Right? For a bit. Like that. But then he's going to put it back down to complete his painting. So let's say he stops there. But then he's going to resume there. So he's got to put it back down. Okay, so he's up. There, he picks it up here. Maybe we even get a little splotch of paint or something here. But then he's going to put it back down. And let's see, he's got... Let's see the paintbrush. Well, that's fine. We won't worry about that. Okay. I guess we could, if we want to be careful about the brush, we could have the brush like this so that you see a bit of the stem of the brush there. Yeah. All right. Then let's see. Then we could then have him bring the brush back down. Now here, actually, we could duplicate this after and have the brush come back down. You know, like, let's see. How do I want to do that? Well, let's see. We can erase. All right. Let's erase the hand here. All right. And all right. And let's bring the brush. We're going to have the brush kind of come back down, but we're going to overlap his hand down. In fact, I think I'll even have his eyes follow the brush, like it's going to come back down to where it's going to contact with the... Okay, so he'd bring his... Okay, so the hand is going to come back down. Okay. And, okay, so there's the brush coming back down. This would be called like a following through on the brush. Let's see the previous drawing of me there. Coming down, and then he can contact. Now, he'd have to reach forward to get... We might have to move him. Let's see, maybe what we should do here. Yeah, you know what? Let's do this. Let's move him into the right position. So let's say, yeah, he does come back down, but let's move him forward here and maybe pivot him a little bit so that he's gonna be in the right spot to get the paintbrush back to where it should be. You know, so he's coming forward, and then he'll pull it back like that. Let's see if we play that. Oh, yeah. But I don't. He's painting. Yeah. Could actually maybe have him come out further on the end here. So, like, maybe, let's say if we duplicate this last drawing. Oops, no, that's not right. Let's see. Let's get rid of that drawing. Undo that. So we want to duplicate after. So, yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to move this last drawing. We're going to move him further away. So he'll go backwards like this, you see. Yeah. Okay. and we'll drag that paint stroke out a little bit like that. And we'll also move his leg so that he's kind of pushing himself back. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, see, there you go. So you see how I've animated the scene because I'm able to draw and copy and paste things without having to actually draw something new. So now I've got a scene. This scene is 48 frames, so it's 2 seconds long. What I'm trying to accomplish with these scenes I'm doing is that I have 4 kids, and I want to give each kid two actions, and it's going to be a part of making the title sequence. That's what I'm doing. So, but yeah, we just got some animation here. Now, do you see how I did this? I didn't, and I'm glad I'm kind of talking my way through this. I sort of had thought about it in my head what I kind of wanted to do with this scene. But to be honest with you, as I'm doing it, I was talking to you as I was doing it. So this scene evolved literally in real time with you guys, which is good because it's good for you to see this happen. This is how sometimes stuff happens. Now, the scene may not end up being exactly 2 seconds long, only because each drawing is being held 8 frames, but that doesn't mean that that's how long I'm going to end up holding it. More than likely, I may shorten the amount of frames that this is held. And that's a good thing because, when you first start out, like I said, you may have an idea, but that idea gets modified as you go. I don't have a storyboard on this stuff right now. I have ideas in my head of what I wanted to do, and that's why I'm just doing it this way, because I also wanted to show you that, as long as you know what it is you want to do and you're pretty confident about it, then it's not a big deal. Normally, you would storyboard each of your scenes so that you already know what the scenes are going to be. That would be the sensible, normal procedure. However, if you're a seasoned animator and you've done a lot of animation, you could just go ahead and dive in, and if you know what you want to do. Or also if you're you're allowing yourself to invent things as you go, which can also be exciting and fun. And you can do that, then that's fine too. I think you have to find a way that works well for you. Everybody's going to do things slightly different. So I just wanted to encourage that kind of freedom of creativity. I think we can paint ourselves into corners by thinking that things have to be done a certain way, especially as artists. I think it's probably the smartest thing to do is to figure out what works well for you in the situation that you happen to be in. So find out what that is, and then you do your work that way. All right, good people. There we go. We have started a new scene. And within 23 minutes here, 20 half an hour, halfway through a half an hour, almost through a half an hour, we've got a scene animated. But that's because of the wonderful magic of digital animation, digital drawing. I think if I had been drawing this on paper, it probably would have taken a little longer. Yeah, most definitely would have taken a little longer. So that's one of the beauties of working digitally. All right, then. So, all right, I'll leave you there. I will see you guys tomorrow, and we'll move forward from here. Have a great day. Don't forget to thank God once again for your talents and gifts. Wouldn't have them without Him. And remember, Jesus is Lord.